So I think we can go ahead and get started. Welcome, everybody. This is Belong at Brown Professional Development for our master's focused programs. My name is Bryce. I am a recruitment counselor within the Division of Masters and Professional Programs, and I'm joined today by Kamal. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kamal Shah. I'm the Associate Director for Career Services and Professional Development here at Brown.
Awesome, thank you. So if we want to move to the next slide, I can get started talking about our agenda. Today, we're going to talk about on-campus jobs, student employment opportunities, as well as the Nelson Center for Entrepreneurship. And then I'm going to hand it back to Kamal, and she will cover career services and the resources offered through that department. And then we will have a Q&A at the end. To cover just a little bit of housekeeping, as an attendee of this session, you will receive a application fee waiver that is valid for all non-SOFIS applications. That is something that will be automatically applied to your account. So there is nothing you need to do other than attend the session today. And then when you go to submit your completed application, you simply will not be asked to pay for the application fee. We are going to be doing Q&A. If you will submit your questions through the Q&A function at the bottom of your Zoom toolbar, that is how we will be doing that today. I have some colleagues online who are going to be answering Q&A throughout the session, but if they see that your question might be really helpful for the larger group to get the answer to, then we might hold that one until the end and answer it as a group live. So please note that while questions will be answered kind of first come, first serve, if you continue to put the same question in, you're just going to be moved down the queue. So we will get to your question, and we appreciate your patience. So if we want to go to the next slide, we can go ahead and get started. So let's talk a little bit about on-campus jobs. Next slide, please. I'd like to provide an overview of the student employment opportunities available on campus at Brown. Student employment includes a lot of various different roles, such as dining services, bookstore, teaching assistants, and research assistants. These are really great ways to gain experience, connect with your peers, and also earn some income while you're studying. The opportunities are open to all Brown students. However, it's important for international students to note that there are some visa restrictions. So this means that as an international student, you can work a maximum of 20 hours per week during the academic term. And to begin working, you will need to complete an I-9 form and have a social security number. Please keep in mind that these are hourly positions and they do not come with tuition waivers, so they are independent of any financial aid you may be receiving. To find the open jobs, you can visit Workday once you have enrolled. Excuse me. The Student Employment Office, which is a part of the University Human Resources Office, operates an electronic bulletin board listing the different opportunities both on and off campus. Additionally, they offer virtual office hours to assist students with any questions regarding pay stubs, compensation, or necessary documentation like the I-9 or the W-2. If you have further questions regarding that, you can reach out to them at student_employment@brown.edu, and I am going to put that email in the chat for you as well. And next slide, please. So I wanted to discuss some on-campus opportunities available to graduate students. These are going to vary program to program, so they might not be offered or available with every program. All of them might not be available with every program, but one of them might be available for your program. So I want to kind of discuss all three of these options. So first we have the teaching assistant position. As a teaching assistant, you can assist with teaching courses, and it's often required that you have previously taken the specific course that you'll be helping with. For example, this role may involve leading discussions and conducting laboratory sessions, providing you with a chance to deepen your own understanding while also supporting your fellow students. Next, we have the research assistant role, and this position allows you to assist with research projects that are not directly related to your thesis. For example, you might be involved in data analysis and collection for a faculty member's research project. This is a really great opportunity, though, to gain hands-on experience in research methodologies, as well as contribute to ongoing academic work. And finally, we have the graduate assistant position. In this role, you can assist with the overall functioning of the department. This might involve helping to develop and coordinate tasks in an office environment, such as the admissions office. This experience can provide you with insight into departmental operations as well as enhance your organizational skills. And again, they do vary by department. Next slide, please. Awesome. And then I wanted to share a little bit about the Nelson Center for Entrepreneurship and the opportunities available for our master's students. So first, the Nelson Center fosters a really interdisciplinary approach to entrepreneurship. It encourages collaboration among students from diverse academic backgrounds, and it cultivates innovative ideas and solutions. The center places a really strong emphasis on hands-on learning. So students can participate in workshops, mentorship programs, and you'll gain access to startup funding, allowing you to develop your entrepreneurial skills in real world settings. Additionally, the Nelson Center actively engages with the community. It connects students with local entrepreneurs and industry leaders, creating a really valuable networking opportunity and giving insights into the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And then for those interested in research, the center provides various initiatives in entrepreneurship, providing access to like essential data and resources to aid aspiring entrepreneurs. And then lastly, there are numerous opportunities for master students to get involved. These can include attending workshops and events, competing for startup funding, engaging in mentorship programs, participating in research projects, and seeking internships with startups. So this is a really excellent resource for master students who are looking to enhance their entrepreneurial journey through a range of really enriching experiences. And if we go to the next slide, I will hand it over to Kamal to talk about career services.
Great. Thank you so much, Bryce. If we go to the next slide, I can share a little bit about the statistics of why you should use career services. And we normally see that students who do, reach out to career services are more likely by 24% to get job offers. And this is could be for jobs or internships. So I just wanted to throw the statistic out there because we do see some students just don't know about it or do not use the career services. So if you go on to the next slide, I'll jump a little more deeper into what is career support and what is career services. So within our school, we offer a bunch of career resources, and that means we offer career coaching, which is individual one-on-one coaching. And this could be to do a little bit of career exploration, help you identify some roles or jobs that you're interested in, and which would be the best fit for you based on the program that you have enrolled in. We also offer within the one-on-one coaching, we offer resume, cover letter reviews, as I said, career advising, career exploration, trying to identify a career path for you. We also host mock interviews where if you have an interview coming up, we act as a recruiter and ask you behavioral questions so that you feel better prepared and that you have had at least one practice in before your actual interview. We understand that, some of you who are students might also be full-time workers, and you might not have the availability or the time to meet during a normal 9 to 5. So we do offer some evening hours during some days of the week, and that's to make sure that we're available and accessible to all of our students who are either online or hybrid or even in the residential sessions. We do offer most of our workshops through Zoom, which are virtual, and these range from a variety of topics from resumes to interview prep, optimizing your LinkedIn profile, salary negotiation, and a lot more, especially with new trends. We are adding a lot more other topics to our workshops as well. So if you jump into the next slide, um, we offer some signature programs in our at Brown for master's students. The first one being a career launchpad course. This is a 2-day crash course for which is completely virtual for you to address all of the career questions, be it career goal setting, career exploration, getting your resume reviewed, trying to learn a little bit about the online presence as well as interview prep. And we cover all of this within 2 days to make sure that you're prepared and have had time to consider all of these career-oriented questions before you jump into the program itself, your academic or your internships that you would be applying for. So the Career Launchpad course is really for you to be career ready, and it follows a career readiness plan. We also have some program specific events based on some specific master's degrees. If they would like us to do some signature, some specific events for their specific majors, we do offer those programs as well. Additionally, we have a master's newsletter, and we have a ton of resources that are shared through the newsletter, but also on our website, which I will share in a few slides for in like along in the future. So you'll see a lot of what we offer, and that's how we communicate with you in terms of what's coming up, what are some programs within for career services, but also some community events and some highlights that you might want to take a note of. Some campus partnership events that we do are career fairs, where most of you might be interested in attending. We have employer events as well, and these could be some more info session based employer events or spotlight events. Sometimes there are coffee chats with employers. So we have a ton of campus partnerships for various different programs. We partner with our undergraduate office for a big career fair, and then we do have an exclusive engineering career fair for all of the engineering students as well. With Alumni Connections, we do have an amazing resource called Brown Connect Plus, and we really kind of go through how to reach out to alumni using that platform, which has a ton of clubs, organizations, and affinity groups. Additionally, there are mentorship programs within Brown Connect Plus that you can access. And then a few signature events that we offer are like one of the ones that we really like is the resume road trip, where we go where those students are and make sure we're reviewing resumes right then and there. It's a drop-in event. You don't need to sign up, but we're there reviewing your resume in person. So these are some of our signature events, and there's a lot more I wish to cover, but I know I'm going to stick to the time. So we'll move on to the next slide. A little bit about your own professional development. We're invested in your career growth. So one of the great things about our master's programs is that master's students are eligible to apply for the Master's Students Professional Development Fund, which allows you to apply for up to $500 per person per year for a professional conference at which you would be presenting. You need to be presenting at the conference. And the money can be used towards either the conference registration or the accommodations like hotels, Airbnb, or tickets to go there, like a flight or a train ticket. So this fund can be used, and for, as I said, $500 per person per year. So if you are in a 2-year program, you can apply for this twice. If we go on to the next slide, here are a few examples of the type of workshops we offer. You'll see some general ones like ace your interview, revamp your resume, but then there's a few specific ones like consulting insights. And this is more for students who are interested to apply for roles and internships within consulting. So it's very specific to that industry. As I mentioned, you have resume road trip. If you are, coming into a master's program with the goal to apply for a PhD after, we support you with that. So as you can see here, we have writing for PhD applications. So if you're creating a CV or a statement of purpose, we help you with that as well. And then we have a few more identity and affinity based workshops as well. So move on to the next slide. As promised, I mentioned earlier, we have our career website. This is specifically for master students, and you'll see all of our upcoming events, workshops, career pathways. All of our resources exist on this as well. You can only attend our events once you're enrolled. So I do have to say that if you do see it, you might not be able to enroll for the events, but you get to see the types of events that we have. And there's a lot of other job simulation resources. There's LinkedIn Learning for if you want to continue to upskill. We have labor market insights for where you want to try to explore which career might be a good path for you, or you're still trying to identify how your program will lead to a career that might be fulfilling for you. So we have a ton of resources that you can utilize through our website. So definitely scan that QR code, and I can send you a link in the chat box as well. I always have the website open, so I'll share this in the chat box. Let's see. And you can look at it. It's open for everyone to see. Sorry, the link is available for everyone to see. If you go on to the next slide, I'll pass it on to Bryce.
Great, thank you so much. Awesome. So, your next steps are you can visit our website to register for any more upcoming events. We've got a lot of exciting different topics coming up, and you can find them on our website there, which I will also put in the chat for us all. And then if you have any further questions, you can email us at the email provided, which I will also put in the chat. There is our website, and here is our email. We also are very active on social media. If you want to follow us on Instagram, you can follow us at brownu_masters to see what kind of events we're doing, all sorts of different highlights of the fun of being a student at Brown. And then make sure to submit your application by the program's deadline. As I mentioned, as an attendee of this event, you are getting an application fee waiver that is automatically applied to your account. There's nothing that you need to do. You will get an email with more information after this session. But for now, all you need to know is that it is applied to your account. You only need to submit your application, and you simply will not be asked to pay the fee. So if we want to go to the next slide, I can go ahead and start our Q&A. So we've got some great questions going on in here. Kamal, I think this first question is for you. So will career advising services be available after a student graduates? For example, can a student still book a resume review session even when they're no longer at Brown?
That's a great question. So, yes, the answer to your question is you, as Brown alumni, will have access to career services for life. For the first 3 years after graduation, you get to meet with us directly, since you might have already worked with one of our counselors and our team. But after 3 years, you still get access to the alumni relations career services, who can address all of your questions, which are very similar. We all have the same career theories and same practices that we have. So you have those services for life. For example, if it's resume reviews or even just career advising, Maybe after 3 years, you decide like, maybe I want to switch my job. How should I get started? Or maybe after 10 years or 15 years, you plan or you think about switching your career. You will get the career support through Brown for life.
Awesome, thank you. And then aside from program-specific events, how is career prep integrated into courses? I don't know that I have an answer about specific curriculum since every program is going to be different, but Kamal, you might have some more insight.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand the question better. So there are some schools within Brown that have their own career development professional who is, for example, our Masters of Public Affairs has their own career counselor, and then we have the Masters of Public Health who also has their own um, career services director. So this will be based on a school or a department. So I hope I'm answering that question as best as I can. There are some programs who directly partner with us. They will have their own faculty advisor, but we partner with them in career services and professional development. So they do have career programming integrated within their curriculum, but they do that programming through us. So hopefully that answers your question.
Awesome. We have a very similar question to what you just said. What does each program have a specific professional development officer assigned to them?
Not really. I would say not, it doesn't directly, you wouldn't have a specific officer. I'm wondering if that you might mean a career coach for each program. I would say that that is not what you would would have assigned because the programs do not have the staff available for it.
Thank you. We have another question in here about where can I find the other sessions? I'm going to put that link again in the chat. And we can send it directly to you as well. But we have a lot of different chats, a lot of different sessions coming up with a lot of different interesting topics that have been previously requested by incoming students. So our plan is we hope to cover any questions you might have to make you comfortable in your transition to graduate school. Let's see. Um, hmm. So I am seeing a couple program specific questions here. This is intended to be more of a broad session, highlighting student life and the Career Center. There are going to be program specific sessions. If you use that same link that I just put in the chat, you can find them there. And that will be the best way to get answers about your program specific questions. We just don't have those representatives with us during this session, and I don't want to give incorrect information. But if you email us again, I can put that in the chat again. masters_events@brown.edu is our email. And I can connect you with the program faculty members if you would like. All right. Kamal, how often would you recommend meeting with a career coach?
Um, Honestly, I would say it's up to you. We have seen some students who will meet us once or twice, and that's it, that's all they need. But we have seen some students who meet us 20 times because they need that type of support. They might need a little more interviewing practice because they might feel a bit they might feel that they might need that confidence boost after a little bit of practice. Some of them want their resumes reviewed for each role that they're applying for, and that's fine too. So it's you can meet with us at an unlimited amount of times, and there's no limit. So it's totally up to you for how many times you want to meet with us.
Um, Kamal, you might have this answer. Besides the limitation of working up to 20 hours per week during studies, is there any additional information that international students should be aware of regarding employment? Also, is there any support available for international students in finding jobs similar to what is offered to the local students?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, um, I would say the limitation is the 20 hours per week. When you are in your fall and spring semester, you can work full time in the summer for up to 40 hours. I think you can work more than 40 hours. And we do support international students as well. We have a great support system through our team, OISSS, which is the Office of International Students and Scholars. And we also have the Global Brown Center, which is a center for mostly used by international students, international graduate students. And there's a bunch of programming and events and workshops specifically designed for issues, challenges, questions that international students go through within the US. So there is support. We offer support for international students, and you will actually find a lot of information on our master's career website, which I shared a little earlier. And within the people we serve, we have affinities, and there's one section specifically for international students that they can access. And there are a few questions. We also have two job boards, one job board and one resource that we highlight. Interstride is a subscribed job board for international students as well as domestic students who are looking for jobs outside of the US. So there is this job board that lists all of the jobs that are open to OPT, CPT, and H-1B opportunities within the US, but also list job opportunities per country in different countries that domestic students want to go to outside the US. So there is a InterStride is one of that resource, and you can log into it using your Brown University ID. It is free to use once you are a Brown student. And we do offer other resources through Brown, and those are usually shared within our international student specific workshops.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, and then Kamal, do you have any tips on what a good statement of purpose should contain? I do as well, if you don't.
Yes. So, what should a good statement of purpose contain? That is a good question. I would say you first want to align yourself with the PhD program that you're applying for, but also speak to the research topic that you're interested in pursuing. And then aligning yourself with some of the professors' research interests, because the professors are the ones who are looking at your um, applications, and they are the ones who are going to decide whether or not um, you're accepted into the program, right? And so I would definitely recommend adding some of these topics, a little bit of your work experience if you have any, and then speaking about your experiences, current experiences and skills, and how they align within the programs that you're applying for. And then the next piece is why that program and why that university. It's so essential to talk a little bit about why that program is going to benefit, how that program is going to benefit you, and what are you going to do after that? What are your plans after that program? So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a structure. We do have some resources that you can actually access even right now on our master's career website if you follow the um, PhD and fellowships under the Build Career Skills option.
Awesome, thank you. So sorry if you can hear my dog snoring in the background. Um, Our next question is, are there any events where students can talk to industry professionals?
Great question. Yes, I actually funny you ask because I just ended this afternoon from 12 to 1:30. We had a session with Merck in terms of opportunities that they have within their organization. And this was hosted by Merck itself, and we partnered with them to host it for Brown University students. We had around 85 students who attended this session. So the way we had planned the session was we had 5 different scientists and professionals within different departments within Merck who first shared a little bit of information about what Merck is and what they have to offer. And then they had breakout rooms where students could actually go into those breakout rooms and learn a little bit more in more detail about each person in terms of what they do, what jobs, like what skills they use. I was in one of the breakout rooms as well, fielding questions for one of the scientists. And the students had really good questions because in the end, I could see that those scientists were able to connect students to other people within Merck, which is great because you get to meet with other professionals within the same organization to learn a lot more. So this is just one event. Last evening, we had an event with Amgen, and I think last week we had an event with, I would say, Cornerstone Research, which is a consulting company. So we have a lot of events happening directly with recruiters, and you can meet with them. And recruiters usually bring industry professionals within their info sessions. On the flip side, we also have faculty who bring industry professionals into their own professional development sessions. They might have connections within people within the industry, with people within the industry, and we have seen in the past where the data science program had invited an industry professional from Wayfair. So we have seen many such events from various different programs. I'm just naming very few, but there are so many that happen across campus that it's hard to keep track of all of them. But yes, most programs invite and have opportunities for students to meet with industry professionals.
Wonderful, thank you. So our next question is, have you found that career support or placement outcomes or internship roles differ for international students compared to American students?
I would say career support tends to be the same in the sense that what we are sharing, the strategies, most of it is the same. Of course, there are going to be a few differences and nuances in terms of the eligibility and the limitations for international students. We always and like we emphasize that international students do have to work harder, and that's the case for all the international students across the US and whichever university they are in, that they do have to work harder to search for a job. And so in when you say career support, we're here to support you every step of the way. And that includes not just your resume and your cover letter. It's also, how do you put your best self in front of recruiters? How do you network? How do you build these connections with people you might not know because you're coming to a new country? So we create those opportunities for you, but we also train you how to reach out or how to talk to a stranger, and what are some strategies and tricks you can use to build a larger network. We've seen this, we've had many students do it successfully, and they always come down to having worked harder, putting in more effort. But I do say that that is the career support that we offer through, it's very similar. There will be nuances, but we have the expertise of what international students go through, and we put that into perspective when we advise them.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. And I believe that is all of our questions. We do have a couple of minutes if we would like. Oh, yep, I see one more. Okay, so with Kamal, you might have the answer to this. With the new H-1B fees that are in place, what realistic pathways remain for international students who want to work in the US after graduation?
So that's a good question since this rule was kind of like proclamation was really just shared last week, which is Friday. There are some um, clarifying questions that are coming through, and some more clarifying questions that we expect to see maybe this week and next week. But we did have a session today as well with immigration attorneys for all of the students here who shared that. So they like, I'm going to quote what they said because I want to make sure that I'm saying the right thing. That let's see, they were confident that this proclamation will be challenged in court. So we don't know how long that will take, so I will caveat that. But the immigration attorney did say that this is hence sounds like an something that might be challenged. As you know, there are so many different tech industries and tech companies that count on H-1B professionals, and limiting or creating this barrier might hinder the American workforce. So hopefully that shines a little bit of a positive light, but this is still a very developing proclamation. So I hope, I don't want to say anything that doesn't confuse you more, as we are also learning as we are hearing from the news.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And that did look like our last question. So thank you so much to everyone who joined. If we want to move our slide, I can put our contact information on the screen. There it is. If you do have any other questions after the session, please feel free to email us at masters_events@brown.edu. And we hope to see you at future sessions. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.